Thank you all for joining today. We're very excited to discuss with you all our newly formed inaugural Foundations for Advancement program that we're launching at MLT. This information session hopefully will give you a window and real-time sort of insights into the program that we've developed, the team behind the program, get all of your questions answered as we are fastly approaching sort of our application deadline. And also we'll be kicking off these cohorts sometime after Labor Day. So I'll run through just very briefly our agenda for today. We'll do some introductions of the team. We'll go through the overview of the program. We'll talk through sort of at a high level, but also at a tactical level, sort of what all is involved within the 6-week program. We'll introduce our delivery team. We'll talk through some of the learning objectives and what you'll walk away with after the 6-week development experience. We'll touch on eligibility, and then we'll have ample time for questions. The slides shouldn't take more than, I would say, half of the time we have blocked. So I think it actually probably would make more sense if folks have questions, feel free to put them in the chat, come off mute, and we can sort of have a more discussion-based conversation today. So the team, I am in the center of the slide. My name is Maron Hailu. I serve as director of the Career Advancement Program at MLT. I actually sit in the DC metropolitan area. I have been with MLT for just a little over 4 years, and I oversee a team of 5 at MLT, but also a host of, I would say, close to 20 delivery agents. So I lead strategy, operations, and delivery for our flagship 9-month career advancement program. I am joined by my colleagues. We have Michael Lee and my team member Samantha, and I'll let them both introduce themselves.
Sam, you want to go first?
Sure. Hello, everyone. I'm Samantha. I'm also based out of DC. I have been here at MLT for a little over 4 years, helping to run the CAP program. So very excited to be working on this project as well, on this program as well. Looking forward to meeting some of y'all. Michael?
Hi, everyone. My name is Michael Lee. I'm actually out on the West Coast and, currently in Vacaville, California, if anyone knows where that is. And I've been with MLT for a little bit over 3 years. I'm a senior director of career advancement, and my background is in learning development for over the last decade. And I'm excited about talking with you about this program. It's exciting.
Very excited to jump in with you all. So let's go ahead and dig in. So thinking through what is the Foundations for Advancement program? What is this new program that MLT is launching? Let's take a step back, and I'd love to poll the room and kind of get a gauge of, we've mentioned CAP a few times, and as you all have gotten a sense, we are on, most of us work on the CAP team. Who here has maybe heard of CAP before, or maybe is familiar with the Career Advancement program? The CAP program has been around for 15 years. We've served a little over 1,000 mid-career professionals, and we've had great success in propelling the career trajectories of high potential professionals, mid-career professionals for decades. On average, I would say a third of our graduates in each cohort achieve a promotion within 2 years of graduating. And more than 95% of the alumni that have gone through the program have actually cited that CAP has positively impacted their careers and their lives. And so this is a program that is near and dear to all of our hearts, and we'd love for everyone to do the CAP program, but we realize that there are barriers, there are limitations to that notion. It's an involved 9-month commitment, and some of the largest barriers being cost and sponsorships. And there's a lot more that also meets the eye when it comes to the career advancement program. And we want to give folks a taste of what that experience would be like. CAP helps professionals understand the bar for advancement, assess where they are in respect to it, and equips them with the tools, the insights, and development to close those gaps and unlock full leadership potential. And it's a blend of personalization and cohort based experiential learning. And so we wanted to, in line with our mission, share aspects of CAP and provide exposure to some of those insights and provide folks with the ability to sort of kickstart their development journey. So you'll see on this slide very clearly sort of illustrated, but Foundations for Advancement is a program that pulls portions of the most highly rated segments of the CAP program. So we're still supporting that mid-career demographic. It's still very, very personalized, but we wanted to create an experience within a 6-week crash course that shares sort of a lot of the upfront discovery and what that entails within the CAP program. Because the largest value driver, and for those that maybe are familiar or have known alumni of the program, that's one of the biggest places where there's a lot of value unlocked. It helps folks at that critical stage of career sort of understand where they might have blind spots, encourages them to look inward and learn kind of what may be holding them back. And so CAP is for addressing some of those behavioral career challenges head on, but the portions here that we sort of pulled into Foundations for Advancement is essentially giving you a glimpse of what it is like to be a CAP graduate at a very, very reduced rate and a very reduced uh, buy-in. And so you'll see on the left hand to the right hand side, the CAP program has multiple, we're taking multiple portions of the Hogan assessment, numerous coaching sessions one-on-one. There's touch points with uh, their leader, their people leader, and there's a whole 5-day intensive leadership horizon seminar. Now, for Foundations for Advancement, which is a 6-week virtual course, we're pulling in again the most highly rated elements of the program that give those windows of insight into sort of maybe where there are gaps and opportunities personalized for you. So we'll take portions of the Hogan assessment. We'll have folks will have the opportunity to work one-on-one with an executive coach, and we've curated select high impact workshops that give you a window into some of the takeaways of the LHS, the Leadership Horizon Seminar CAP experience. Anything I missed here, team? Anything that you would like to add?
I think you hit all of it, Marone. I would just say as you emphasize some of the highly rated segments. I mean, when you talk about the Hogan assessment, you're going to get an understanding of how your derailers that might show up under pressure situations, which is really key because oftentimes we don't know these things that are hidden or blind spots that show up and they're keeping us from advancing or other people might see them. It's also going to show you the bright spots there. So that's really key. I mean, that's one of the key components of CAP early on to get an understanding of yourself. We'll talk a little bit about the executive coaching, but as many of you know, usually executive coaching is reserved for those people who are at the VP level. And these folks who are going to be coaching in this program, they coach primarily outside of the CAP program, just C-suite individuals, the people that are making the decisions and the people that are in the roles that you're going to be trying to get to. So that's going to be really valuable. And we'll jump into the three curriculums, the three workshops that are there, but they're really going to give you some strong insight into how to do decision making and some other aspects. We'll talk about the people that are delivering those too. So we're really excited about being able to bring this to you bring and give you a taste of this because we know that the next program is not going to be until the next opportunity for you to even experience CAP's not really going to be until spring. But right now, you might be wanting to address things for yourself today and this is that opportunity.
Absolutely. I'm excited to dig into some of the high levels of how the 6 weeks is structured. And we'll put in the chat a PDF that encompasses the day-to-day, the actual dates, of the programming and how it'll be structured across the 6 weeks. We have two cohorts running across the fall. But on average, we're looking at about a 3 hour per week commitment. But that's at the minimum side. I mean, there are a lot of ways that you can dig into the content that you can apply. There's post work. And so what we're looking at all virtual sessions. Though we'll be alternating between main tent sessions. So you'll be with the cohort. Cohort sizes are expected to be between 24 at most, on average, I'll say 25 at most 30. And we'll be alternating between these main tent sessions. So the workshops that you see here highlighted in green, and then that opportunity to work one-on-one with your assigned executive coach. So you'll meet with your assigned coach once in a group format at the kickoff call, and then there'll be opportunities for that one-on-one engagement. So, and I guess another way to think about it would be spot coaching. So in this case, we encourage you to sort of come with what's top of mind for you, as Michael said, and from what we've received already in terms of the applications, a lot of things are coming up with folks, maybe some already here in the room. We're talking about navigating power dynamics and managing up, formalizing career roadmaps, acquiring new skills, mindsets, decoding the unwritten rules of executive leadership. Those are all infused, and a lot of these topics we'll be digging into during these workshops led by experts in that field. And the next slide, Michael will be talking through who will be leading these workshops and who we have within our roster of executive coaches. But there's a really unique opportunity here to get that one-on-one support with your assigned executive coach, build that strong relationship and network with your cohort mates, all of whom will be peers at the same level, working across the same challenges. And a lot of these workshops that we've designed are, again, pulling in from the main tangible sort of highlight sessions from CAP that have unlocked a lot of growth for our fellows, but very experiential, very hands-on, which is a big sweet spot for the CAP program. Okay, so let's jump into our coaches and facilitators.
Yeah. So here's what I want to tell you about our coaches and facilitators. We developed this program. One of the things that's really important to us is that in many aspects you get some of the similar experiences with CAP, and we're really excited about the fact that we were able to get the same individuals that are responsible for delivering CAP and the same coaches to be involved with our uh, FFA program. And so the individuals that are delivering this program, you can see at the top, there's Richard. Richard's going to be your person who is not just an executive coach at the highest level, but also handles the Hogan. Richard's done over 10,000 Hogan assessments. Michelle is the second person. She's Stanford trained educator. She actually has delivered programs at the Stanford University, and she is a podcast star, and she is a decision engineer. So a high level there. And then Bob, this last individual who has been delivering, which will the reflective leadership part of our program, which we'll talk a little bit about. And then our coaches, they're C-suite coaches. And what does that mean to you? What that means is they're not going to be coaching or talking to you about the level that you're currently at, but they're going to have conversations with you about how to get to prepare you and give you an understanding about what it's going to be like at the next level. And these folks normally, just to give you an idea, um, you probably would be paying probably about $675 an hour to get to when you're talking about C-suite coaches to get 1 hour with these folks. So it's really, I mean, when you look at having access to them for at least 2 sessions, that's phenomenal. And they are at the highest level of coaching. They're coaching people. Some of them are coaching Google executives. Others are coaching executives from ADP, Capital One, you name it. So you're getting high level coaches there as far as and as we talk about with CAP, they've coached over 1,000 individuals who are fellows and participants of CAP, so they really understand the program throughout. Marone, you want to add anything to that?
I would say that the folks even facilitating some of these workshops are executive coaches themselves, and so some folks might have might actually be paired with one of those folks on the left hand side here as their executive coach. Any questions so far?
Yes, we have a few in the chat. Wilbur asks, have fellows transitioned from FFA to CAP for continued learning if they wanted to extend their experience?
That is absolutely sort of where we envision this going. So this is an inaugural cohort. This is actually the first year we are running FFA, but I think you hit the nail on the head in terms of the overarching kind of vision in terms of this will serve as sort of a prequel to your experience in CAP, where you can kind of really dig into some of those development areas and come up with and address those challenges.
Got you. Thank you. I missed the inaugural part. So that makes sense. Just a quick follow-up. Michael, you mentioned the price tag of some of these coaches. And so thinking with the end in mind, you go through FFA, you go through CAP, you know, maybe you can afford some of those coaches, but like for continued, do you guys have like for lack of a better term, like a bench of coaches that you would recommend for afterwards? So, after the program ends, the coaching to retain a continued learning coach.
Yeah, we've had individuals that have actually extended their coaching out after going through CAP and their program. So that's occurred, and we'll work with you in that space. But yeah,
Okay.
that's a possibility. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any other questions right now?
No, we have a question on pricing, but I know that'll come back a little bit later, so I've responded to that.
Awesome.
Well said.
We will get to that piece of things. So let's dig in a little bit more into learning objectives and what we will equip you with at the end of the 6 weeks. Michael, did you want to talk through that?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, you're going to learn how to about I talked about this. You're going to learn about your personality, your perception, and how your attitude can shape your performance and your career success. I'm not going to touch every bullet point on here, but there is going to be going through this program. What we see even in CAP, there's a shift in your mindset about the way you approach people, the way that you interact with them, a better understanding of yourself. And you're also going to get some tools to be able to make decisions uh, quickly and how to navigate those to get to the best decisions. And that's the part of this decision making engineering aspect that Michelle has here. At the end of the 6 weeks, I think the most important thing that you're probably going to walk away with is really a personalized development plan that you're going to develop with an executive coach who's got that experience, and it's going to be informed by the workshops that you go through, the coaching and the assessment of understanding yourself. So there's going to be a portion of it that's learning material that you can apply, but there's also going to be a portion of it which is touching on you as a person and how those two marry together to help you be able to navigate and be successful in your organization or as an individual in your own business itself. Clearly, deeper learning is level of understanding for blind spots and gaps. Oftentimes, we don't know what those are, and sometimes we don't even get the right feedback from individuals to know what's going on with us ourselves, and they don't tell us that. So, and then there might not everybody, but there might be a few of us on here who might be suffering from imposter syndrome, uh, and and then being able to get an increased sense of confidence and self awareness to overcome that piece of it. So, Marone, is there anything you want to be able to add to that?
Yeah, I would say, this is the piece of CAP that a lot of folks kind of come into the program not having a full sense of uh, how insightful it will be in terms of their own kind of personal um, roadblocks, their own kind of personal challenges, misconceptions. And so this piece where you're working with a coach, you're getting that insight from your assessment and being equipped with that knowledge of this is where I want to go, and there's a potential roadmap for how to get there. And maybe it was a difference between me seeing something differently, me navigating a specific situation differently. Those are all things that we dig into at length within the 9-month CAP program, but we often see that that is a primary need, right? That even just having that understanding of where those roadblocks may exist, where there could be a shift in perception, and where there could be a different strategy altogether put in place. All right, so let's, I think we have 2 more slides to cover, and then we'll have time for discussion and questions. So what we're looking for here with the Foundations for Advancement course is, again, what we're looking for with a CAP participant. You know, we're looking for mid-career individuals. Again, the minimum here is at least 10 years of experience. I would say 10 to 20 is that sweet spot. Within your application responses, and again, when reflecting on kind of your roadmap and where you see yourself in the future, we're looking for that desire, right, to advance and learn and grow and change. And so that's something that we'll be looking for within that. And I think we've already shared in the chat, we have a calendar already built out for the 6 weeks, particularly with those workshop dates. So being able to commit to that time and the course content would be a big one as well. So next steps, we're actually conducting a rolling admissions process. We've actually, as I mentioned, already had a couple of applications that we're processing currently. So we ask that to be considered to fill out the short application form, which we'll be putting into the chat here so you have it handy. And we have a final sort of submission deadline to be considered for cohort A. It'll be next Friday, August 15th, 9 Eastern, to give West Coast folks until the end of their work days. And then for cohort B, we're looking at September, end of September, as their cohort kicks off a little bit later. I would also mention that there is a matriculation fee. We have a special discount and opportunities to work together for those that are MLT alum and or at an MLT, currently at an MLT partner organization, where we will be applying a 20% discount. I think that brings that to about $2,750. And so we'll work with you if there are questions about do I work at an MLT partner organization? Do I qualify for this? Reach out to us at FFA@MLT.org. And first you can apply, but when you reach out via the email, we will go ahead and confirm with you kind of where we can where you'll land when it comes to this. But this will include everything that we just discussed: the workshops, the coaching, all the content that we'll be posting into our LMS. We use Canvas actually to post pre and post work. The community access to that, everything will be included within that one fee. So I think that's everything, the main topics we wanted to cover today. Again, I said the slide deck would probably take us just about halfway through the session. But I think unless you have anything else to add, Michael, we can transition over to questions.
Oh, I have nothing else to add. I'd love to be able to hear the questions and be able to respond and get folks' answers. Sam, do we have any questions in the chat at all?
No questions in the chat currently.
Let me pose this to the group then. When you're exploring this, what challenges or things were you hoping that the program would address, or things that you're interested in figuring out for yourself? Anybody want to share?
Are there potential, I guess, job interviews that can happen at the end of our participation in the program if selected, if we're looking to change companies?
There are no particular job interviews, but I would say that if you're looking to make a transition, that might be something that you would discuss with your executive coach, who might be able to advise you in some aspects while you're going through the program itself.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
that Brian? Brian, are you an MLT alum?
I am. I did career prep.
Oh, amazing. Okay. So you have a ton of resources available to you if you are in the midst of a transition or looking to make a transition as part of the MLT alumni community. So we can be in touch. We actually have a whole network of partners looking to hire MLTers. So
Oh, awesome.
let's get in touch. If you want to shoot us an email, we could definitely connect you to that team.
Okay, will do.
Mhm.
I had a question. Looking at the programming calendar, I'm assuming those are all Eastern Standard Times.
Yes, they are all in EST. Mhm.
So, is there flexibility for like recordings and things, and like how does that work?
So typically we don't record CAP sessions or FFA
Okay.
sessions actually as sort of a blanket policy, given the
Yep.
fact that there are a lot of discussions taking place and we want to preserve sort of the sanctity of that. Um,
Certainly.
if but if there's a specific conflict you have, we can kind of work through it depending. Also, there's two cohorts available, so we can look through both calendars and see if there's a fit.
Well, if there's no additional questions, or there's always a potential that there'll be questions that'll pop up later. There, Marona, and Sam, do you want to share the email address to be able to reach out and ask additional questions, get more information on it?
Yeah.
I'll share it again.
Perfect. So in follow-up to this, we'll send over this recording, the deck I walked through. We'll have the calendar attached, we'll have the application attached, and then that email address as well, where our team is available to answer any and all questions. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. Thank you for your time, and thanks for your interest in
I'm
FFA.
sorry to take the group back. I was going through TSA. I have is this program, is it industry specific or does it cross industry? It may have been spoken on, but I may have missed it.
Yes, we are industry agnostic. So,
Okay,
yep, no specific target industry.
thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of the day.